as connectors, communicator, ambassador, we don't want that, but we want more of the professional who want to show herself and with information and so on, the lovable person, and the social person. This is where we decided these are the connectors for us, but not the one who would be aggressive on them. So this one, it's finding out which connector profile we should be using, but in the same time testing the different arguments. Then we took them into final, and from where what argument empowered the brand, how to do the brand voice opinions, bonding between the Clorox users connectors, so it resonate, the claims resonate between them, how opinions form and how they are voiced. Here we came up with 4 different claims or 4 different schema breakers. And we had at the time one of them, that's what we thought is more likely, it's connected to the brand, it's at the same time it's easier. And we wanted to go into the general, the real, a kind of a real thing. So we chose from the members of those, we chose brand connectors, we selected them, profile, plus the general loose loyal connectors. And we started to test the 4 different arguments with them. And in this one, we decided, what we found that those who are clean freaks, we cannot, this is the hardest people to convert. So the target market here is also determined who is, we are targeting, who is we are looking for. In fact, the final one is the claim you need to care for yourself to be able to care for your children, because loose bleach is usually the concentration is higher, so it's harsh on the hands and things like that. The branded one is softer. So we wanted to tell them it's, well, the cleaning, yes, it's very important. So we were acknowledging what the schemas they have about cleaning, but in the same time there is a point of view, if you care for yourself, that means you care for children, so it's healthy life for your kids. And that's what we reached at the end. The project's still in process, as I said. So this design completed, currently it's being implemented. Next we evaluate impact on test market, before and after impact. After we finished and before the implementation, the client itself, he gave us testimonial. I will show it to you, it's written one. But in the same time, we found that the marketing director, she came with the brand management team with the cake tart and with the thank you. And it was a very nice surprise that they came to our office to thank us for that. And this is a testimonial which they wrote to us concerning the work we did for them. It was by the brand or the senior brand manager who was responsible for the project. That it is. Questions? Thank you. Any questions?
How's the execution after these conclusions?
The execution, we from the screening which we used before in the focus groups, it's used to recruit people. And in fact, what they did is, they did it as part of a campaign. They did that, let's choose within the area who is the best lady to taking care of her home and taking care of the cleaning. So it was a kind of election thing, voting thing. And with a voucher that they have for different products. And from that we had like candidates, because each home, in fact they did it themselves, this one, Each home they went, they made a kind of who is candidates, who would be the one who is the best, the hero of cleaning in the area. So from that listing, we did a raffle, or they did a raffle, and who is the first voter, second and third. But within that, the screening was done. And from the screening, they started to communicate with them the message, which looks like a thank you gathering, and that's how it's being started. At the same time, they talked to the trade, so it was in both sides, enforcing this message, which is a healthy life, and if you take care of yourself, that means taking care of your kids and so on. Thank you. Any questions? Yes.
So was the question to you, what's the best word of mouth campaign?
Yes. In fact, it is not only the best word of mouth. Well, it's the best of word of mouth campaign. Yes. But including with that, okay, the elements of it, which I talked about, like, okay, what message we should be using, who should be using the media, who would be the target market for us, and even the claims, but on what tone.
I mean, we use the same, just looking at the first part, the schemes, or
Yeah.
sometimes we call them frames.
Okay.
And this is a big, kind of relatively new thing in politics, to try to understand in the U.S. what frames people are using to evaluate candidates or ballot measures. But not necessarily, or really not related to word of mouth. It seems like you can, and we use that same research to then design more broadcast or media campaigns.
I fully agree with you. I fully agree with you. You're absolutely right. And in fact, that's our way of thinking. And this is in fact the first one, because we had the challenge from the client, and then we developed that. And what we are considering now is to put something generic related to communication. It's not just related to word of mouth campaign.
Right.
So I 100% agree with you. I'm glad to hear that you're applying it.
They're, I mean, they can be completely disconnected, right? Trying to find the best communicator and trying to understand the scheme.
Yeah, yeah. But the same thing is having this, because if you want to convert people, usually it's especially those who are loyal to a certain candidate or a certain thing, you have to really understand how this is developed. And if you don't understand it with the guidance of psychology and things like that, and you know how to break that, because in breaking it's not just counter argument. If you just give, because in communication, usually in concept testing, things like that, okay, we have a concept, we communicate, we test it, this is communicating, that's what they think about it, but it's not taking into consideration the change, what's happening.
The biggest challenge we often have is actually with the client, whose scheme, if you will, is that information will change their mind. So we'll tell them that Clorox cleans better. Did you tell them that Clorox cleans better? Right? Or did you tell them that we pay this much in taxes? That would change their mind. So you don't want to apply it to your client.
Not to be because we're talking about the whole economic interaction inside of it, inform and everything, and allocate to the data too. That's exactly it. If you approach the world like that, you will not break any schemes or really change people's minds.
Yeah, because you are just giving counter argument. But there is something, and it applies everywhere. When there is something new, usually people they resist change. They resist. So we need to change their schema or frame of thought. So it's the same. Go ahead.
Can you give an example of such a breaker?
Yeah, this is what we communicated. As I said before, you need to care for yourself because bleach is harsh, and they believe if it is harsh, that means it's good for cleaning. And what we are telling them, it doesn't have to be harsh. In fact, you have to care. As you care for your home, you have to care about yourself because this is good for your home. It's good for your kids. So if you hurt yourself, this is not good for your kids. So you are not doing the right thing for your family.
Yeah. There's this great, this